Greetings and welcome to One Spiritual Love, Spirituality in a Modern World. And I just uploaded my song, 2 Moons and 2 Suns. Now when I originally started the story, it was the universe is calling you. Because I had to write a creative project for one of my college classes. And so I did. And then I turned that into a children's book. So it's 3 short stories in 1 book. The book is called Fragmentology 5 in 1. The setting is the year of 3050, Universe 23, planet number 3. It's a story about a girl, young girl, Shawanisha's past, present, and future lifetimes. And she has 5 guides, kind of like when Pinocchio had Jiminy Cricket. She has 5 guides. That is air, earth, fire, water, space. And pretty much the concept that I gathered from was the movie Airbender. And when I was 12 years old, went to a neighbor's home. My life pretty much evolved after the age of 12. Went to a next door neighbor to go over there and play with their kid. And as I was walking through the living room, they were having PBS TV station, and on the station was this lady stretching, and the way she was stretching was so, interesting. I thought, that should be me. That is me. Come to find out, when you grow up in a very small town, small minds think small. So I lived on the white side of town, and you cross the railroad tracks, so to speak, you go to the black side of town. So it was the white side of town back east. Relatives in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. That's called rednecks, briars, hillbillies, the list goes on. And in that world, you step on someone's property, they're gonna shoot first, ask questions later. And that's how you get the swamps and whatnot, and people disappear, like in the movie Deliverance. And so that's probably more south, but you get the concept. So in this story that I'm creating for my creative project for college, pretty much I furthered it, because there's more there than meets the eye, as always. So when I'm watching this television information on PBS, the way she was stretching, come to find out later, that was yoga. That is so me. But when you grow up in a small town, that word was never part of your vocabulary. But that was me. So years later, between the age of 12 to the age of 15, I'm growing my own plants in my basement with grow lights, and I know exactly how the plant works. I never went to high school, so no, we're not talking about biology. We're talking about something much deeper than that. And pretty much, I knew growth inhibitors. I knew growth, expansion, and contraction. This I knew. This is not something someone taught me. No, because I'm bringing the knowledge from past lives through my past life gene into this life. I know exactly how and I didn't figure out till years later exactly about bacteria and viruses. In my 20s in college, I wanted to be a chemist. I mean, there were so many things I wanted to do, but I had disabilities, as they call it. So I look in the microscope, I don't see anything, and I have to put my glasses on. I don't see anything. I don't see with human eyes. I understand with past life gene and my third eye chakra how to actually open the doors in particles that are part of the whole. This I knew at the age of 12. I'm growing plants, and I asked my mom the other day, and I said, do you remember when I did that as a kid? Because I'm 61 now. She goes, yeah. You made that plant have the stalk of a tree. Yeah, because I knew what I was doing. So as I'm doing this project for school, I furthered it with the 3 short stories in 1 book. Then I have family members that are actually blind. So in order to understand, I go to the movie Mask, where the young man had disease of the face, so facial deformities. And so he worked in the summer at a blind camp. So blind students would go to this camp, and they'd learn how to groom horses and all kinds of stuff. So he thought, well, how would you explain the hot to a blind person? They can't see. So he took hot coals and put it in her hand, and she could understand the color of hot. How would you understand the color of cold? He put cotton in her hands, and she understood the color of cold, which is then white. So when you understand, when you have synesthesia disability, you gather facts and figures from all living organisms worldwide. So between growing plants and many other things that evolved in my life, in order to create this story further, I had to describe this through a different realm in past life through this life. And my mother, she did her DNA, and it showed that in her DNA, she comes from China. Now remember, we're white bread on the white side of the railroad tracks. So it's like, that was not even fathomable. What a word, right? In my vocabulary, in my understanding. So I cried. It's like, I didn't understand. And I found this out when I'm like in my 50s. Like, what? Where does this come from? It's like this rocked my world. So I took all of these particles that exist in my world to completely understand what the freak is going on. So I put them together, and that's what the air sign does. And there are 3 levels of air: young, adult, and old. And young, in astrological terms, is Gemini. And old is Aquarius in astrological, because we're talking in the soul level, not the spirit. We're talking the soul level, okay? So basically, as young air sign, as a Gemini, you're trying to create cohesion in kosher motif, what the freak does all this mean? So, in my 50s, while going through getting my bachelor's, master's, and Ph.D. as a creative project, I then take the story, the universe is calling you, and I have to put it into visualization. As I say, for people that are blind, if they don't understand the depths of darkness to light the light of lightness, you have to understand the vibrational vibration of rhythmic rhythms. And how do you do that? Well, one is through music, because you're activating all of the human five senses. So this particular song is called Two Moons and Two Suns. Now, as I'm sketching and painting, I'm doing world astrology. The first astrology signs I'm doing, which to me is natural since the age of 12 seeing yoga, it is Chinese astrology. It is the Chinese astrology signs in spirit realm in fractal form. Fractals are mathematical equations, self-similar, self-replicating. It is a mathematical equation in symbols. So you walk into a cave painting or a pyramid, is symbologies and metaphors you have to understand. So they're basically coded because you don't understand how to interpret what it is that you're seeing. So you go through study, research, experiment, and experience, and then you create. What I did is Fractalology 5 in 1. And through this, one of the paintings is called Two Moons and Two Suns. And as we know in the story of Chinese mythology, you have the three sisters. And in one hemisphere of astrology, they go by the sun sign. This is the male ionic energy. And in other hemispheres of the world, you go through the moon sign. And that's why I'm the water rabbit in the Chinese astrology. So, in the moon, you have the two sisters. In my song, in Chinese mythology, you have the three sisters. And those are the moon signs. And two, I don't remember how two died, but there's only one left. So when you understand your mythology, it's just basically human history. I then created the tones. The tones are not sound. The tones are, think back when you're in your mama's womb. What were the tones you were hearing in the vibration as your mother is speaking to you and to others? What is the tones you hear when you were in your mama's womb? This is what you understand because you're bringing these features from past life genes to this life. It's a different comprehension and understanding. So I decided today to load it up on my YouTube. It is on my YouTube channel, all of my music. And it is, I don't know, it's streaming somewhere online. You can find it somewhere, I don't know. You pay people for these things to stream your stuff, you know? So the song is called Two Moons and Two Suns by the Metaphysician. And the paintings, for people that are maybe deaf and they need to understand, they can see my paintings in artpound.com. Unispherical Muse. Unispherical Muse is a pseudonym for one spherical spirit inspiration. So check it out. Now, with cancer treatments, radiation, my esophagus went to the size of 10 millimeters wide. So my windpipe, basically, a very little hole to be able to breathe and swallow. So basically it dries out pretty quick. So it's time to take a drink. That means you too. So, we're listening to Two Moons and Two Suns. I just uploaded on my SoundCloud channel. Who am I? Probably Unispiritual Muse. I'm just saying. If you gotta look for it, there it is. And today is Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. And on Saturday, as time prevails, I go from this particular entity that helps guide me through the spirit realm, what it is that needs to be brought to the forefront of understanding and guidance. So I always call upon the spirit realm to guide me through these moments in time. And for fun, I pull out an oracle card. I already know, but when I'm doing scrying or oracle cards or tarot cards or anything on esoteric, it's just a confirmation of what I already know. Just like my esophagus is falling apart because I have 10 millimeters of breathing capacity and swallowing capacity, and that's why next week I'll go for another throat stretching, my third, because of the radiation cancer treatment gave me scar tissue. So I have to go get a throat expansion. And so when I went for my last aura, it is the throat. So the throat aura picture shows all blue. Well, it's just confirmation what I already knew. Blue new. I just rhymed that. I love when that happens. And it was just confirmation what I already knew. My esophagus is falling apart. So where is all my energy in my aura regulating from? From my throat chakra. And that is communication. And as we all know, the United States of America is the Gemini air sign, and that's why there's so much communication and technology comes out of the United States. This is the hemisphere of Earth. It is Gemini. We are the young air sign, and that's why you get many trials and tribulations of path following and new technology, new this, new that, because we love to experiment. We love to find all the particles, all the puzzle pieces to put together, because this is the challenge. And fun. That's what it's all about. And so I uploaded the music, and on Saturday, pulling the oracle card for guidance through the spirit realm, the card pulled for Saturday was black pepper. And for guidance, black pepper is pretty much banishment, because we are wanting to heal all species in, upon, and of Earth. So black pepper, banishment of the toxins of evil entities. That is evil energy. And this energy, my friend, you are creating, which I've said for many years. Why do you think there are black holes in the universe? You're creating it with your aura. Now, in black pepper, to banish, beware, be warned, be free from harm. Use peppercorns as a magical charm. Spite of tongue or cursed deeds, I'll banish with my pepper seeds. The magic is worked with harm to none, so might it be, there it is done. Now, I'm allergic to, I've discovered, because I was trying with my 40 years of food list, plant-based foods, I have to, after cancer, I catalog and categorize plant-based foods in plants and vegetables, fruits, seeds, herbs, everything, because why were plants created? It's God's gift for healing. So I had to find out, for healing, how do I get rid of these chemical compounds that my body decided to collect through cancer and cancer treatments? How do I get rid of this? I had to go through all of my knowledge from past lives to this life, and basically I experimented. So it's research, study, experiment, and experience to create the adventure in this life. And that was the chemical compounds for 6 months. And the last 2 months, I was very sick because I'm trying out what am I allergic to and what am I not, you see? So that's what I'm doing to release the chemical compounds. So all the radiation and chemotherapy, I kicked that stuff out in 4 months out of my body. So I basically, for 4 years, was taking this stuff. So 4 and 4 equals 8 in numerology, and 8 is abundance. So you can get abundance of good, bad, and otherwise. So I released the abundance of these chemical compounds after 4 years. Now my body is now immune. It is allergic to the bacteria and viruses that are caused from cancer and cancer treatments of radiation and chemotherapy. I released it. So eliminating what is, what should be, and what will be, and the chemical compounds that my body says, okay, it's a happy camper or X-nay, that's toxic, throw it in the trash. So I pulled the black pepper on Saturday. Now, black pepper was known as the king of spices and black gold. That black pepper dates back for over 4,000 years ago. Peppercorns were once used along the ancient trading routes as a form of money or peppercorn rent. Hippocrates is the father of ancient medicine. Hippocrates, Hippocrates. I'll have to go to Google how to pronounce that. It's a foreign language to me. The father of ancient medicine used black pepper in his cures and remedies. So that was on Saturday. This is guiding all species, especially humanity, of how to help release toxins. All right. Now, for the Sunday, yesterday, the oracle card was pulled, guiding me to guide all humanity through healing. And this one was time, and it is courage. Now, the fairies love to work with time. Whistles they cast their spells in rhyme. My gift of courage helps you fight. Stand in your strength and shine bright. The magic is worked with harm to none. So mote it be, there it is done. Your time's guidance revealed. Thyme was used as a perfume in Greek temples. European folklore speaks of how to find fairies in patches of wild thyme. Using thyme oil enables a seer to see fairies at fairy hills. Ladies in the medieval times wore scarves embroidered with a bee and thyme. Do you understand? Each one is recommended. Now time vapor rub to clear. Ooh, my glasses. I have vertical vision because of the blockage in my head, because of inflammation through lymphedema. I have to use a hand massager to move the lymphedema. I have to move it, so I'm moving the liquids because they have damage because of the radiation cancer treatment. So I have to move it so that my vision then can become balanced. So I pretty much have to close one eye and tilt my head, and then I have to move the liquids so that, life is wonderful. It's balanced once again. Yay, I can see. Should I go blind for a bit? It's like, cool thing is I don't freak out. I know exactly what to do. And that's why going through, in the depths of darkness to find the light of lightness after my third cancer, hey, I'm a pro at this stuff. And I can show you how, whatever has come up in your life, I could show you how to just move right on through that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why you give me child's play, dude? I know how to work this crap and move it where it belongs, because I know how to release the toxins. Hey, rerun in the house. You okay, watch the show Good Times. Hey. Okay. So, with time, I do add that to whatever I'm cooking. I actually added the last of it that I had to my made egg drop soup for the first time in my life. And trust me, it's not Oriental. No, this is from, Hickville, redneck, briar, crunchy folk. Take the girl out of the country, but you'll never take the girl out. You can take the girl out of the country, but you can never take the country out of the girl. Now remember, I grew up back east. What they doing over there? Shoot first, ask questions later. And guess what? You got your moonshine happening back there, baby. And yeah, I grew up on moonshine. I am bad ASS since the day I was born, baby cakes. So whatever toxin pop up, child's play. And let's just play some soccer ball, baby. And around the world, it's called football. Okay. So I can show you how to take that stuff and play child's play with that. All right. Now, time is for vapor rub to clear sinus colds and chest infections. All right. Then today's morning oracle card is elderberry. Or elderflower. Okay. So the flower is the end result. The berries is like any plant that has a berry. It's kind of like the fruit of that flower, of that plant, before it turns into full bloom. So, warding. Okay, elderflower is for warding. Defend, protect, I'll guide you well, and ward off any misused spell. Fairy secrets hidden deep, ancient magics yours to keep. This magic is worked to harm with harm to none. So mote it be, there it is done. Now all of the oracle cards I read from is Witch's Kitchen oracle cards. Now, elderflower, flowery, elderflower, the ancient hedgerow plant is protected by the elder mother who lives in its trunk, believed to keep evil spirits away and protect people from lightning. If you stand under an elder tree on Midsummer's Eve, you might see fairies. Elderflower is also used in Chinese medicine to purge fevers. And for flu, used as a diuretic, increasing sweating and synesthesia. Alright? Why were herbs created? God's gift for healing. Okay? So there's your 3 oracle cards for 3 days in a row. Now, in Feng Shui, the element of 3 is Trilogy, fire, triangle, a geometric shape. So this is what I do on a daily basis. It is different elements that create your world. And my mind just lost that thought pattern that I was doing. And that's where your memory then fades. It will come back in a minute and they'll be like, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. So the thing is it's sitting on the back burner and it will come forward in uno momento. And until it does, you have Trilogy. In Feng Shui, it is the symbol of triangle. Each geometric shape has a particular meaning when you go through folklore, which is mythology, which is human history. And the book, Universe is Calling You, on a spiritual sense, is the 7 deadly sins. So it's teaching the younger generation about universal law, which is much more powerful than man-made law. And this is what I do in blueprint schematics to the fundamental mechanics and vibration of rhythmic rhythms on the time sequence, on the timeline, to transcend the transparencies of cosmic consciousness. And that's how it works. And this is why it is merely child's play. You're just giving me a puzzle. Aha. Quadratic equations in metaphysics through spirituality is what I do each and every day. I knew it would come to me. It was just a matter of time. Because I am constantly, trust me, guided to the spirit realm. So when your intuition tells you, do it, do it. Just like any good parent is coming to guide you. When your intuition says, don't do it, don't do it, because you're creating karmic debt. When your intuition says, do it, that's your spirit realm. You're creating karmic credit. And the whole point of karma is to understand it in this life so you can then perfect it. So when you go in your next life, in your past life team, guess what? You've already perfected it. You don't get to play the same old song and dance and child's play again because you've already perfected it to your karma. That's how it works. So you can find my song, as I say. It's now on my SoundCloud channel, Unispirical Muse. One Spherical Spirit, Inspiration. And yes, it is my trademark for my products. And that's why I have 5 businesses. So pretty much this would be then inspiration. As a ordained Reverend of Divine Energies. And that's why I have a doctor's degree as a Reverend. And you go through, as a person of the cloth, through college to find the inspirational moments to become a priest, a preacher, a reverend, a rabbi. I mean, the list goes on and on, because you are a person of the cloth, because you have been selected through the spirit realm to help guide all. And what you're doing is you're guiding all species. And one in particular, if you so choose, is the bipedal molecule called the human species. We are bipedal, 2 legs. We are a molecule just like all species in, upon, and of Earth's hemisphere. So when you decide to follow your karma and do exactly what you were meant to do in this existence, it can help guide you through spiritual healing, spiritual teaching, spiritual counseling. Today's sermon session is learning your karmic balance. And that's why this was a meditative state of understanding, as I'm giving you meditation. That's what this is all about. I guide you through meditation because when I speak to you, your subconscious knows exactly what I am trying to tell you through communication. Because when you don't listen to your spirit realm, your spirit then talks to my spirit to tell me to tell you what you need to be guided through in spiritual healing, spiritual counseling, spiritual teaching. And I am. And I will always be in each lifetime, because I take my knowledge from all lifetimes through this lifetime and into my next lifetime. It is the trilogy of life. It is birth, death, rebirth. Is called reincarnation. Well, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to come back and play the same old song and dance of crap again in the next life. So I'm conquering this bad boy, and I'm creating a good girl. And in the spheres of human existence, if you're a male species, bipedal molecule, then you create karma in eliminating the bad girl and creating the good boy. That is how it works. Understand which hemisphere that you reside in as to what you are creating, as to what you can create. That's what it's all about. So this is your meditation to understand your karma. And you can find my music on SoundCloud and streaming somewhere online. You have to know. But this one will be up on my SoundCloud, because I will put it up. And how, I don't know, because I'm going for a Mac to micro. So we got the 2 M's, baby. And this is not M&M chocolate flavored peanuts. This is M&M in technology. We got Mac and Microsoft, and it's like y'all can keep your childish toys, because I will kill it. Okay? It's always been that way, because my energy is too strong and I kill electronics. My EMF will just look at it and it's dead. In my 30s, I was married, my 3rd marriage, and we were living in Las Vegas because I had 2 jobs there. My mother lived there, so we moved there. So I'm working at Home Depot full-time, and I'm working at the law office full-time. So one is on the opposite end of the town. So basically, while I'm over there, I learned a lot more about life, because I'm living in 2 different worlds simultaneously. So actually having a moment peace between, that's 16-hour days, and that's pretty much 5 days a week. So when I actually did have a minute off, I would go with my husband to the casino. So he's spending his retirement. He took early retirement. So he blew it all in the slot machines. He's a good one. He spent, what is it? Like $60,000 in the slots in 8 months. Just blew it all. And I sat there eating with a waffle cone. I'm enjoying life, sitting there eating 3 scoops of different flavors of ice cream and a waffle cone. I'm enjoying it. He's blowing money, and I'm enjoying my ice cream back when I could eat ice cream. Watching the people soak up the atmosphere. Oh boy, that ice cream was the best. I miss those waffle cones because I love waffle cones. I love waffles, period. Dude, it just rocks my boat. And I couldn't eat it for a long time because of the cancer. So anyways, I can eat pancakes now, very small. And I'll get back to waffles when the time is right. So as I'm sitting there, and then we went over to the game room, and I put my hand on this machine. I tell him, watch. And it's a fortune teller. And it goes by your energy. And it reads the energy. And then it tells you if you're a hot or a cold lover. 0 is cold, 10 is hot. So I put my hand on the machine. And with thought, it was at 0, cold. I'm a very cold lover. Then I tell him, watch. I put my hand on the machine, and with thought, I move the needle to a number 10. I get the card from the machine. It says, I'm a very hot lover. Just like years later, I'm in my 50s, late 40s, and I tell my coworker, we had to go pick up something from the warehouse. And when we get out, I said, look up at the sky. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's as clear as can be. No wind, no nothing. I look up at the sky and I put my hands together. And I said, let there be rain. Right then it started raining. Another time, I was mowing one of the schools that I mow the fields with my trusty steed called a gang mower. 15-foot wingspan, 11-blade, 4-wheel drive and hydraulic. Yes, I operate heavy equipment, truck driving. As I'm mowing, for 3 days in a row, I hear the word Deuteronomy. Well, I've never read the Bible. I have no clue where that word came from. So I finally asked a coworker, what is this? He said, it's in the Bible. So I looked it up. It is the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments is the inspiration that gave me my book, The Universe is Calling You, The Deadly Sins. So this is how I take the particles in life and I create through part that create the whole. And that's how The Universe is Calling You was created. It is a children's book to learn not just man-made laws through religion and government, but through universal law. And that's what it's about. And it's time for a drink. Nothing like having cold coffee, because it's only probably 35 degrees Fahrenheit out there. Okay, so basically, when I read in the Bible the deadly sins, I said, okay, you know what? I've studied world science, world religion, and I study world science, world mythology, world everything constantly. That's what I do. Since I was very young, from the beginning of this lifetime. So I'm mowing with my trusty steed. I said, all right, you know what? then just show me. I need to see with my eyes, okay? Because now I'm getting very irritated. What is this crap, Deuteronomy? So I look up at the sky as I'm mowing. All of a sudden, the clouds start forming. Within a couple minutes, I said, if there is a God, let me see God. So I look up at the sky, the clouds are forming, and all of a sudden, the clouds formed into an overweight man with a long white beard, sitting in a big recliner like a lazy boy, smiling. He's smiling at me. I'm like, wow, this is super cool. Okay. Okay. So what he looked like to me was back in the day, they had the black and white movie called Scrooge. And when you saw Santa Claus, that's what the clouds look like. So to me, that's what God looks like. Okay? A big man with a white beard and a bright smile. Okay? Isn't life grand? And so we shall see how everything just keeps flowing. But that's why you must listen to your spirit guides. First time I saw my spirit guides, all my life I see ghosts and spirits. I've seen the walking dead. I've seen the living dead. That's by bipedal molecules. Because when you look at life, are you looking through the eyes of the living dead, or are you looking through the eyes of the living? Most people live in the realms of serious boring, and that is the living dead in my world. Because remember, I am the youngest of the air sign, which is Gemini, and the oldest through soul signs of the air sign is Aquarius. And then you got the middle child, and that's the teenager. Y'all know how teenagers are, and that's the Libra air sign. That's the way it works in Trilogy. This is the geometric shape of the triangle. And so this is your meditative moment in time in the blueprint schematic of time, space, and mass matter in the square, because this is the 4 quadrants, the geometric shape of square. It's your job to figure out, I see with triangle, I'm relating with square. It's all geometric shape because it's all mathematics, it's all numbers. And it's more than what the human sphere of the human brain can understand. My first spirit guide I saw was my spirit guide, as they're all doing seances and whatnot in the other room. It's esoteric. I saw my first spirit guide, and it was an old Indian man with one feather. So throughout my life, I'm being guided. And I'm being guided from the moment of this existence in this lifetime. I was lucky and blessed with the birth sign of 6663. Number 6 is love. Number 3 is conflict. Love is female, and this is the moon. And conflict is number 3. This is the sun. So in my children's story, we have 2 moons and 2 suns. And the 2 suns are, like in Egyptology, is the sun god Ra. His wife is Hathor, moon goddess. So the sun is, in my story, in the year of 3050, universe 23, planet number 3, fractology 5 and 1, the 2 suns are 2 brothers, and the moons are two sisters in the year of 3050. So I bring to life, I conjure, I manifest, I create, and this is how everything rolls. And this is the way it is, and this is the way it will always be. So mote it be. And a deep meditative breath through your diaphragm. And so it is. And that's how it works. And in time, probably in the year of 2026, because we know that 2025 is the number 9, it is the void. It is the space between the rainbows. That's how it works. It's in between the between. And that is in my book, which if you read it, you would automatically know what does in between the between mean. Now, look for my music, look for my art. My YouTube channel is One Spiritual Love Church. My podcast is One Spiritual Love Church. My music is The Metaphysician. And I'm having a new label, Unispiritual Muse, LLC. So everything I do is geared towards my 5 businesses. I planned in my 20s what I was going to do in my 60s. I planned in my 20s where I was going to live in my 60s. I planned in my 20s to have a government job. In my 30s, I planned on I wanted to be a gang ward. In my 40s, I became a gang ward and a government job. In my 20s, I planned on retiring at 62. And in my 20s, I decided I'm not going to have a mate for life until I'm 72. Everything is by numbers. So this year is a 9. Learn to understand what the 9 number means depending upon what culture you live in. There are 22 cultures around the world. So number 9 means something different to each and every bipedal molecule. Numbers are different through all species. That's how you see numbers. Through the particles that are part of the whole. Because it just depends upon kosher motif. Now, if you give me blueprint schematics of dogma norm inside the box, you are boring me with seriousness. I did that in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. In 50s, I was creating me. And in my 60s, I don't give a flying fig what your perception is in person, place, or thing. I don't give a flying fig what anybody else says, does, or thinks, unless you pay my bills. There's a door, don't let it hit you on the way out. When you're ready to have some fun, then come on back. Comprende, mijo? Comprende, mijo? That's the way it works. And on a side note, the spirit realm is telling me, bigote. I'm trying to remember. Bigote. Pretty sure that means either beard or mustache in Spanish. Bigote. The most important word of the day, when you go in a Spanish-speaking culture, you better learn baño, baby. Baño, bathroom. Where's the baño, man? Gotta go and unload. Learn the important increments in the foreign language. You want your baño? And where's your burrito? You gotta know, where's the food and where's the bathroom, okay? It was funny when I went to Egypt for vacation. It was tripping. I went in 2017, so add those numbers up. Alright? So I go over there and I gotta go with the baño. For every little square of your roll of toilet paper, they charge 10 cents. You better make sure you don't have a big old load or you're going to be losing a few dollars. Like, Wow, one little square, 10 cents? Let's see, how many pennies do I have that create babies that make dollars? Keep your pennies in your pocket, okay? Now when you're a male, you don't need no little square pieces of paper for 10 cents, but when you're female, you do. And that's the way they roll, okay? So that is your meditative thought for the day. And you take bits and pieces. Bits and pieces are particles. Particles are part of the whole. So whether the particles in science of the ionic energy you are creating through guiding it from the spirit realm to create your karma today. That's your day, your take on the sermon session of today in this lovely world in 2025. Now your main points in herbs is black pepper, thyme, and elderflower. Live, learn, love. The trilogy of life. And life is love. Love is life. Blessing from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, D.Div, Ph.D. And thank you for your support.